All right, we got DDG and the dating show of doom. DH obviously doesn't think very highly of the whatever the love, whatever the show DDG came up with is his Love Island alternative. Understandable.
This between me and you, unfiltered. When I log off, my life is lit. When you niggas close your app, your life ain't shit, bitch.
Yeah, we're doing this. So DDG
good,
is currently crashing out on his fan base, and if you know me, I've made videos on DDG, and this one's no different. It's about a lame nigga who happened to come into some money, but this time his crash out has another reason, and it's because he's tender over a shorty who's been with damn near everyone in the industry. So today I'm gonna talk about DDG's love show of doom, how it went to trash because he decided to cuff a pass around. But I'm yambling, you already know I'm the hood Socrates, and let's actually start. Before we talk about the love show, we need to talk about DDG's relationship with India Love. Everyone knows by now the very public and messy breakup of DDG and Halle Bailey, a breakup that was publicized for the media to see, one that featured allegations of and mistreatment. Despite that, for the media to see, one that featured allegations of and mistreatment. Despite that, DDG found his solace in India Love. Their relationship seemed to take roots there, and don't worry, I'm not gonna be doing a full recap on how they got together, but I did want to start here. So at Streamer University, despite the whole, allegations of a Kai Cenat did reserve a spot for DDG there, which led to clips like these between DDG and India Love.
Walking outside like that?
No, I'm gonna, it's cold outside. I'm gonna get right, and
You gonna take?
I'm gonna strip when I get in there.
Watch it.
I'm gonna have a little corner just for skinny dipping though, just in case you wanna fuck with that corner instead.
Ah, okay. We'll think about that. All right.
You're graded papers. You're graded papers.
Hello.
Pull your chat up.
Yes, sir.
Pull your chat up. Chat, get the singing. Not only
Chat,
you
get
go
the
to
singing.
Party, not only people say you was, not only.
Now clearly they was on their parasocial farming time and teasing their relationship and doing things on the camera that would make one assume they was together, which niggas ain't up. But something that was interesting was that India was also all up on Dukers and Dennis.
I do remember this arc.
And honestly, I feel the brain mush because why am I sitting up here finding all this footage of grown adults doing what amounts to high school shit for a video? Goddamn. But I show y'all this to get the point across that India is a
I gotta call a spade a spade. This is more DDG drama. I understand that India Love is like one of the OGs in the game for like not necessarily like dating content per se, but like she's one of, I guess, the OG baddies before you heard people like going on stream talking about what they did as a professional, that sort of stuff. She was one of those people that like I guess was like a model before everything, and nobody really heard her do a lot of like just content stuff outside of that besides like photos and videos of her like doing different things like that. So I understand, but at the same time, personal preference, of course. I'm not going to say she's ugly, but I'm also going to say she's not way up there to be getting all this sort of like buzz, shall we say. Again, personal preference. I've seen a lot of people say the polar opposite of me, so I could just be yapping. But for me, myself personally, respect to her and all her content opportunities and all that sort of stuff. No disrespect intended at all. I just think people glaze a little bit. But, some people, that's their cup of tea. You know what I'm saying? Exactly like you said, not our type, but some people do enjoy it. So I respect it for all it's worth. I just had to get that off my chest because I'm watching this video and it's It's sitting on the top of my head.
Ass around. She's been around the industry and is gonna come up again later. But that leads us to Are You My Ball, a dating show where DDG has various girls compete for his love, which is dumb as hell because at this point, this nigga's still with India Love, and before the show even started, this is her claiming DDG as her ball.
I got that motherfucking ball, nigga. I ain't gonna lose it, nigga.
So, if you can't already tell, this dating show makes no sense. DDG has a whole woman claiming him while getting women to come onto the show and compete for him. It already contradicts the purpose. And for the contestants, would that not make them feel some way? But to be fair, I'm pretty sure there is a cash prize, or there was a cash prize. So these women weren't willingly being around DDG just to be around him. There was money involved and exposure. So I guess they were getting something, I guess. As for the competing aspect, part of what the women would do are challenges. And for DDG, I didn't expect him to have these women do anything physical outside of like gooner stuff.
Are you a ball or are you a nutsack? Let's go.
Are you a ball or are you a nutsack?
Get up. Let's go. Oh my God. Get up. Get up. Let's go. Balance it. Balance it. Let's go. Let's go. Come on, Cookie.
This is actually interesting. I'm not
Come on,
gonna
Chips
lie.
Ahoy. Come on, Oreo. Come on. You a ball. Let's get it. Come on, Sugar. Good job. Let's go. Get up, mother.
And after doing challenges like this, at the end, he would have the shorties stand and eliminate each other. Or at least that was day one. Because from what I can tell, the way shorties would be eliminated changed. And one of the ways DDG did eliminations drastically changed people's perception on the show. But I'll get to it when I get to it. One of my first issues was how goonified the show was getting. What you're seeing right now is footage of the women shaking and wearing That's My Ball shirts. And maybe I'm too woke, but part of me feels like this is the objectification Olympics. I mean, even on the back of the shorts that the women are wearing, it literally says his ball. So I definitely feel like that's crossing the lines. Like niggas got his ball on a shorty's bunda. He dead ass put his ball on the butt. And I've already talked about it.
At the end of the day, you know, it's out of pocket, but they signed up for it. That's the unfortunate truth of the matter. Nobody made them sign up. There wasn't some, you know, said they didn't sign their souls away to DDG and this is part of the content reel that they signed up for. No, they made a conscious decision to wear his ball on the yams and the other part on the front. You know, that's the trade-off they made. Now I'm sure that the money must have been pretty solid, you know. And he said, I would do it if he pays me. Hey, at the end, is it objectifying? Yeah. But at the same time, in order to be objectified, somebody has to put themselves in the way to have it occur. And they definitely did that. I mean, they put the clothes on themselves. They joined the game show themselves. So fair play, I say. Fair play.
Okay, content like this just further seals women into the box that is showing off your body for easy engagement and clout. And with these women being black, it only furthers the notion that black bodies are meant to be
Fair.
Our women.
That's
and it's
a good
not
point.
even like I don't fuck with bad bitches or twerking, but it gets excessive, bruh. And that's something even India Love had to admit.
Want to see more of on the show though, instead of all this the dream big shit that's going on. I wanted to see ladies being more attentive towards him, like.
And if India Love has to say you low-key being too, I think there's an issue. But since we're on the topic of India Love, let's talk about where the show started turning people off. And that was when DDG had her included. Women on the show felt like India was bullying them and just being rude overall. And I definitely agree. In episode 6, DDG had India eliminate contestants, and she was just very nasty and mean-spirited when addressing these women.
Sugar, I'm so sorry. Are you so shocked? Oh.
I don't know. I think we go together, but
Huh?
I think we go together.
Wait, who's that?
So I think we go together.
Who?
Me and Moo.
Oh, it's over with now. Can I have the ring? I don't think y'all go together. It's not really a chance anymore, but thank you. What does that say?
That's kind of rough.
Stretch over that way if you don't mind.
It says no.
It says what?
No, I'm kidding. It says Daryl.
Deliberately put my man's name on you. Oh, is right. I just want to know.
I didn't know that.
Oh no, I don't mean it like that. I don't mean it like that. I'm just saying like, you know.
Yeah.
It's like what's understood don't gotta be said type shit.
Exactly.
And can you do me a favor though?
Yeah.
Can you take that off?
Yeah.
Either like laser it, cover it. Soon as it heals.
No, yeah, for sure.
You gonna do that for me?
Yeah, for you.
Promise?
I promise.
Yes.
Alright, bet. Tattoo coming off real soon. Fuck y'all talking about. Lasered off or covered up. She know what's up. Hello.
The first clip was for surely mean-spirited in my opinion. The way India talked to Shorty, that ain't sit right with me. Granted, all of them are crazy for competing for doo-doo garbage, but India putting that woman down like she's not the biggest clown of them all was weird. The second clip though, I included it for two reasons. Reason number one being, I just thought it showcased India's attitude and the way she was speaking to the women, which I also believe is part of the reasons for the women to react in their own ways, but I'll get into that. But the second reason I included this clip was just to show how absurd social media is, because why on God's green earth are random women getting DDG's name tatted? And they're black too, so it just be making the intelligent black queens in the community look bad just by association, because that is bird behavior. I'ma keep it real. Now, a specific contestant named Lil Vicky ended up getting fed up with India's bullying, and what she did initially was repost India's past relationships, and DDG saw that, and here's his reaction.
Damn, why would she repost that?
What was it?
Like, she be posting like shit about India like on some weird shit though. Like it's like so extra.
Bro.
You invited her on the show to interact with the contestants. This had to be, you know, within the scope of what you were anticipating. I think the one sitting on the couch was mixed. All of them, all the contestants that I saw are like, there was one that was like black and Puerto Rican. Like there's a lot of gray area individuals from there. But across like this scenario, right? We can't concern ourselves too much because he signed up for this. The moment if he just did it with just the girls and then she decided to do that, then sure, fair game. You could be completely oblivious. You can play it. You can milk it for all it's worth. But the moment you sat there and invited this girl on the show to vote girls off, to interact with the girls, all this sort of stuff, knowing how India likes to get on camera, can you really complain? I don't think you can. You signed up for this. It was part of the DDG experience as soon as she signed. You know what I'm saying? Everything for media attention, exactly.
Taking the verse off.
I forgot to mention they did make music on this show, and DDG's first thought
this
was
was on
to
the
take
show?
her off the song. I just feel like, my nigga, if you gonna date a shorty with a past, don't be surprised when that shit gets brought up, especially when, according to Lil Vicky herself, which you're gonna see, she said India was basically body watching the other women, bringing up their past, and just being overall disrespectful. What she did was merely a reaction to what she had been going through. But this is what Vicky had to say when confronted by Deshae Frost about these same reposts.
People brought to my attention, they've been seeing your TikTok repost and seemed like you were low-key reposting a lot of shit about Miss Love. Relationships with the game, things about her hugging on Duke Dennis, things that don't even matter anymore. Now, out of respect to Miss Love, I love Miss Love, all right? And you ain't gonna talk about Miss Love like that, all right? So, do you have any explanation for yourself?
Hello to this guy.
I personally don't know anything about her, so I didn't realize the age gap when I posted what I posted, so I did remove that repost. I'm going to stand on the post with Duke Dennis because if we're bringing up other women's past and bringing up stuff from the past, then I feel like everybody else repost should. I just feel like if we're bringing up, you know what I mean?
But I will say this, okay? Vicky, that was unwarranted, unprovoked. India never said nothing disrespectful to you, ever.
No, but I was acting out of emotion, so if I disrespected you in any way, I want to apologize, but I did watch the clips back, and I in no shape, way, or form condone bullying of anybody sitting down on these chairs right now. I feel very disrespected just being in the cast and seeing the way that these women were spoken to, calling women losers, talking about women having a white tongue, or walking past our beds, talking about how they weren't made, or we had empty chip bags, like you're better than somebody. I would never move at 30 years old like I'm better than anybody sitting in these chairs. So...
Good for her. I respect Shorty.
I'm not gonna lie. I did not think she was gonna be that well spoken with. I did not think she was gonna eat it up like that. That's gotta give credit where credit is due. She did her thing with that. That was impressive. Because it's one of those things where it would be very easy. As soon as he sat there and he said it was unwarranted, she never came at you, it would be very easy for her to just fumble right there and say, yes, but I just wanted to do it. That was the kind of response I was anticipating. So when she says, yes, I recognize that. If I disrespected you, I apologize. Talking to the host of the show. Okay. You did that one thing, right? Keep walking with it. She says, but I don't like what she was saying to everybody else here. And since I'm part of the cast, I feel like if you're attacking one person, you're attacking everybody. And I'm here too. So what we're not going to do is just sit there and verbally abuse people. And you're sitting there talking like that and you're out here 30. When she brought the age up, I was like, oh, I'm not going to lie. India really can't say anything about that. Because if she was on the show talking greasy to everybody else, even if you weren't talking greasy directly to her, you know, she felt some sort of way because you did it to enough other cast members. It wasn't targeted at one or two people. It was a group thing. So it was only a matter of time before she gets brought into the mix. She just hadn't had her turn yet. That's the way it comes across. So the moment that conversation gets had, well, she did it. I got to give her. I wasn't expecting to hear somebody speak so eloquently on here. Not even the hosts, not from anything except for DH, you know, because he cooked up the video for us. But I'm happy. I got to enjoy that. Now I paused too much.
For standing on her feelings, because I won't lie, like I said, I did feel like India came with a pretty disrespectful energy, and DDG as the host has a level of responsibility to making sure the women he had on aren't feeling no type of way. The fact a lot of the cast is black is an even bigger reason, because we not trying to make black women look foolish live, but that's just how I feel. But let's talk about the aftermath of the show, DDG's response, India's response, and then I want to talk about how DDG is clearly losing his mind because he's just allergic to criticism.
With a brain, no grown person with a brain, a mind, a thought in their brain gonna think that a nigga is gonna get married in 7 days. I don't know why y'all think that's a thing. Why do y'all think this is it? Why do y'all think I'm gonna get married? Y'all took this parasocialism to the next level, bro. Who the gonna live stream? Just think about it. Cause we grew up watching TV shows, right? Bro, who the is gonna go on live, meet girls for the first time ever in their life, and in 7 days get married? What y'all don't know is these girls know that. They know. You niggas is the only niggas that don't know. Y'all the only ones that's lost. Okay? We need to rewire our brains. Like, I feel like.
So I just think this clip is him not being able to understand where people's issues are. No one is saying he needs to marry these women or that we expected DDG to enter anything serious. But the whole point of a dating show is for there to be a date at the end, or for the goal to be met, which is, hey, this shorty gets with DDG. But he made a dating show when he had a whole girlfriend, which was just the antithesis of the whole like idea. And also, I know he has used this as a defense, which is it's inspired by Flavor Flav, but dude, it's just a different time, you feel me? Just because that may have worked back then doesn't mean it's gonna work now. Just because something is happening on a game show does not make that thing okay. You can't just be rude to people or belittle them or treat them poorly just because it's a show. I just don't think we should be using "it's just a show" as a defense. That's the same as saying "it's just a prank, bro," or "I'm just trolling." And niggas like put spiders in someone's food or something. I don't know. But the funny thing is that DDG ended up throwing all his homies under the bus to defend India.
Y'all trying to cancel India when Deshae was saying the wildest shit. Deshae was saying the wildest shit. Ben was saying the wildest shit. Brother was saying the wildest shit. But y'all want to pick and choose
I don't.
who y'all want to.
The thing is, I don't play about food. So the thought of somebody messing with my food and then trying to pull a, bro, I'm just playing, bro, it's just a prank. You could never. Because I'd have to steal off on you. Off the strength of the fact that you thought that was an acceptable thing to do. Period. Point blank. Period. You don't. Like, there's a lot of, I don't like being messed with when I'm sleeping. I don't like being messed with when I first wake up, right? If I'm getting tired and you're harassing me, you can kind of pass it. But if I'm asleep, if I'm just waking up, or if I'm trying to eat, or if it's food related, we don't do that. That's the line, right? That's way over the line. We don't do that. Because there's other times, right? 85% of the rest of the time I'm awake. You can do a lot of things. Now let's not get too hasty, right? That's not sitting there and suggesting you do something heinous, but there's a time and place for everything. And I don't think that was a terrific example by DH. Cause no, you sit there and mess with my food. Man, I'm gonna do like Ichigo and call the ambulance to pick you up before I fold you. I have to. I'm sorry. Not really, because you initiated it.
Yeah, like these guys may have said some crazy shit, but I feel like there's definitely a difference between a nigga trolling and India Love having direct communication and saying hurtful things to these women. But let's get into a response and I'll quickly go through it.
Always gonna present myself as that girl. That's just the type of aura and person that I am myself. And I feel like I carried that. I feel like I carried that during the show. I feel like I showed that. I don't feel like I did too much. I could have did way more.
Oh, we know you could have, but you still did too much, right? You want to say you didn't do way too much? It depends on what your scale of too much is, right? It's a spectrum, but you definitely did too much. You want to present yourself as the it girl, but you carry yourself as high and mighty, as borderline untouchable. You know, royalty doesn't sit there and need to demean peasants. You know the royalty because the way they carry themselves. The peasants recognize, dang, I wish I could move that way. Anybody can be a dickhead. Anybody can be a pain in somebody's behind. That's what you did. That's what it seems like you did the entire show. So you sitting here and acting like it's something that it's not. You don't get that pass. No, you didn't act like you were the it girl. You acted like you wanted to be the it girl. There's a difference, right? Somebody on the throne doesn't need to. If you're on top of the mountain, you have the high ground. You don't have to aim down at the people below that are still trying to climb the mountain, right? Just exist. Just exist. I'm not gonna lie. I wish I could blindly feel the way that people of her mindset feel on a consistent way. Like being able, like there's certain levels of confidence that come with certain things that I do or certain things that I see other people do. But like this level is borderline delusion. And to reach certain levels of like greatness and just perfection in crafts of different walks of life and even in workplace environments, you have to have a certain percentage of delusion in the way you carry yourself to the point where you think, not only do you think that you're the best at whatever you're doing, but you think that everybody else should also feel the same way or already does feel the same way about you. And I'll say I'm envious. I'll say I'm just a touch, I'm a pinch envious of people that have this India Love level of ego. Just as you said, like the ability to not only feel like you should be the one, but also approach it as if everybody else should expect and respect you as the one is beneficial in a lot of places, because there's a lot of times where people don't want to play fair. Life isn't fair, as we know. So sometimes having that edge where you don't expect anybody else to look out for you or to help carry your burden, you carry your burden. And if they see it, they see it. If they don't, you don't, over concern yourself with it. There's a beauty in it. I'll give her that.
But out of like understanding and respect, I kept it calm, cool, collected, sweet, whatever the case may be.
I feel like if India really was that girl, she wouldn't have to resort to petty things like belittling people. You can capture a room without theatrics, that's what I think. And also, if she did way more, she'd be seen as even more corny than she already is, because she's pushing 30 doing it. But I will say, I do know DDG put her up to it. Once again, Flavor Flav influence, but it still stands, you feel me?
Whatever y'all want to do. I told Moo before I got there, if anybody wanted to get in the ring with me, I would be more than honored. He like, nah, we're not doing that, da-da-da. Because I knew I was coming to pop it, I was ready to back it up. I said, hey, we can get in them gloves if we want, because I knew I wasn't holding back for nothing to nobody. If y'all really here for this nigga Moo, who I care about more than a lot of shit now, if y'all really here for him, let me see who really is, though. Let me see who really could take it, because
do these guys got an open relationship or something? You're willing to fight women on the show over a nigga to see if those women are good enough for that same nigga who you also claim? Do that make sense? But that's the reason for the India backlash. If DDG was gonna do this show, he shouldn't even have been the person who was the target of the women's affection, especially when he got a shorty who's ready to fight over it. Let's just keep it a stack. This is mad ghetto. That's just mad ghetto. But that stuff aside, there's a Twitter community called DDG Unfiltered, which is erased from existence. Like, niggas was on some One Piece stuff and literally altered history so that any records of the calm is gone. And the reason it's gone is allegedly because DDG had part of his fan base mass reported. But from what I gathered, DDG Unfiltered was a subpart of DDG's community that was not yes men and were heavily criticizing DDG for the show. And that's pretty valid because if y'all haven't realized, DDG's community has a bad, I mean extremely bad yes man problem. Like, it's horrible. You cannot go against that nigga. So a calm that was built to oppose the yes man stuff, that was good. Okay, that existed to help DDG's community as a whole. The issue is that DDG just can't take accountability or criticism or just admit he's wrong. And also another issue was the fact they were spam posting an image showing all of India's past relationships.
I don't know why y'all be trying me, bro. I'm not one of them niggas. I'm not one of these little nerd niggas that y'all can just be talking shit about and I ain't gonna pop my shit, nigga. Like, y'all gotta understand who the f I be talking about. I'ma piss y'all off every time. And when I piss y'all off, I'ma still win.
For someone who's supposed to be pissing off people, he sure does sound pissed.
This is how I know my love show is a success. Niggas is making Twitter communities. You know what? Just because y'all did that, crazy. Matter of fact, DDG India Subathon. I want to see y'all niggas crashing, cause I ain't gonna lie, y'all promoting the shit out of me, and I genuinely was on like, how the like after I rewatched the little spaces, right, and the nigga was doing this, you don't listen to us.
Is it me, or does this guy just not sound very secure with himself? Like, genuinely. It's okay to flop, it's okay to have a bad video, and honestly, this part itself is just beyond DDG because I understand it. Not everything's gonna be a hit. Just have the humility to accept that, especially with the drama surrounding his show in particular. But he just baby rages and does these unnecessary theatrics for the camera because, like I said, he's not secure. But that's just how I view it.
This between me and you, unfiltered, when I log off, my life is lit. When you niggas close your app, your life ain't yeah, nigga. I'm beefing with them niggas for life, nigga. This for life. I'm gonna show y'all why niggas don't beef with me. Now you gonna see from a fan perspective. Hey, we do not want to with this nigga.
DDG, I think people don't beef with you because you're real readable. You flex money and you try to win through material means so you can call someone poor. You also have a big fan base, so you'll weaponize them as well. And generally speaking, why would anyone want to beef with DDG knowing he's insecure? These clips scream insecurity. If he truly felt like his show was a success and the backlash didn't bother him, he'd stand on it and he wouldn't have to get out of body to do so. If that's truly how you feel, you don't gotta lash out to express it. But talking crazy to people that support you just because they're being critical shows me that DDG is not secure with what he's doing. And that's the dating show of doom. Let me know what you guys think. I would have dropped this shit yesterday, but I peeped it was gonna be a longer video, so I delayed it. Expect more videos this weekend. I love you guys. Subscribe for more unsolicited opinions, but
shout out that boy DH, man. At the end of the day, right, DDG felt some sort of way. And honestly, you need to have both sides of the argument at your table. If you're a content creator, right, you're going to do some great things. You're going to do some good things. You're going to do some things. You're going to do some bad things, right? Being able to have people that will understandably tell you how they felt about it, honestly, is only for your benefit. Now, some people can go overboard. I'll be the first person to tell you that. I've seen some people say some crazy things in some of these Twitter comments, and even in some people's just Twitch comments, you know, and people's YouTube comments. So I understand that sometimes it can get to you. I can understand that sometimes it can really burn your biscuit a bit. But at the same time, all criticism is not bad criticism. In theory, most to all criticism, in a vacuum, of course, the criticism that you should receive should have some inkling of usefulness, right? If somebody just hops in your comment and says, "Oh yeah, that the show's trash," that's not really constructive criticism now, is it? So we don't care about that person. That person's life is inconspicuous. Their life doesn't matter to us, right? But the person says, if a person sits there and they say, "Man, I really wish on day 2 when they were doing all the physical exercise ones, they really approached it from an angle of da da da," or "I wish they did X, Y, Z." Just simply saying how you would have preferred they did something else instead of what they did do, that's constructive, right? He may not want to do it. Any content creator may not want to do it, but they can sit there and say, that's an interesting point of view. And if their thing gets, if there's enough likes on the comment, you might say, maybe that's worth gambling on at a later date, just for the heck of it, just to see what happens, And usually I don't like calling content creators insecure or just people in the light of the media insecure in general, because I understand what it can be like to look at things and you just have an opinion or you just want to defend yourself. People are like, "Oh no, you're insecure because you're saying it XYZ kind of way, or you're addressing it in this sort of way, and we think most people should address it this other way." People are different. People are going to address things differently. But when you keep attacking the same point over and over and over again, and there's never been a point where you brought it up and you were just mild-mannered, you were calm, the way you attacked it was very direct, to the point, you left it there, you weren't insulting people, right? There's a little bit of a disconnect there. And unfortunately, rarely, one of the rare times this is going to be, where I do think that to a certain extent, DDG was a little bit insecure. I would say that India was more insecure than DDG because of her antics. But some of it's just her personality. It's just how she is as a person, as we're clearly seeing with her being in the limelight a lot more. But DDG has always been a content creator that's been more on that line. So for myself personally, I don't really watch too many people that can't, both of them. And like for DDG, he's been on the internet long enough to where you would think he would be able to not necessarily develop a really thick skin, but he would be able to he would have a mental filter where he just doesn't allow certain things to bait him. Somebody so easily rage baited can be annoying after a certain point. Like you want a content creator where sometimes they can be really active, sometimes they can be, really mild mannered, sometimes they can get really emotional with certain things. You want the ups and downs, the ebbs and the flows. He doesn't really give you that. It's just in your face rage or nonchalant. And you want these specifics. You want the full diaspora. You want the full range of what he can produce. And a lot of times he doesn't give everybody that. So it's unfortunate. I do like that he attempted, to make a show. That was interesting. I think, again, from the very beginning, it made no sense to do it with him as the main person. Even when I knew the show was coming out, I didn't know that he was going to be the guy that was like being sought after. I thought it was like a panel of people, like 3 or 4 people, or just somebody in general that wasn't him, a fellow content creator of his, that was intended to like be the winner, so to speak. So when I found out that he was doing the dating show, and then when I found out that he also invited India on, it was like, what are we doing here? And then you watch India talk about it, and she just sounds crazy because, like, you want to put on gloves to box a girl to see if she's worthy to mess with the guy that you mess with. Now, if you're in an open relationship, that's that doesn't affect me in my personal life at all. But if you want to sit there and go ahead and make that known at the beginning, okay, now it makes more sense. But we don't usually expect people in America, and most first world countries, to have polyamorous relationships. That's not the immediate expectation the label you throw on somebody. So for you, either you want us to throw that label on you, or you actually do look crazy and you don't realize how crazy you look. I'd say it's a little bit of both. But nevertheless, there's going to be more buffoonery afoot, and it's always fun to look at these types of conversations.